is rising, she's rising, she's rising. The spirit is rising, it's rising, it's rising. The spirit is rising, they're rising, they're rising. The spirit is rising.
Hello, Coven, and welcome to another installment of the Missing Witches Prescription, where we take a look around at late-stage capitalism and try to figure out something that's going to get us through another week. And Risa is expecting some big biopsy results today. So we'll take half a second to focus our energy on Risa, send her all kinds of love, health, good vibes, loving vibes, weave a web of protection around her in your imagination. She has told me that she feels those golden strands when they come through. And so we're just going to keep doing that for her. Every time we think of her, we can weave those golden strands, those red threads around her. But today, I am joined by Killian for this prescription, aka Death-Tinted Glasses. How are you, Killian?
I am doing well. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. It's so good to see you and your face. So, Killian, like I said, runs Death-Tinted Glasses. They have an Instagram and a website to that end. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about Death-Tinted Glasses before we get into our prescription?
Sure. So I have had a lifelong interest in death-related topics. I think that it's important for us to talk about death-related things. As a society, we don't like to talk about death-related topics, and it's like the one thing that we all are going to share in common.
Happens to everybody sooner or later.
Exactly. And it's more, there's all kinds of death, not just the death of a life, but the ending of a job or a relationship or, all these other things. And it's important to talk about endings, So that's kind of what my goal is with Death-Tinted Glasses. But then recently, I've also got really into astrology. And so I'm bringing astrology into my Death-Tinted Glasses project. My website's kind of out of date because I've been focusing on the astrology for so long, but I'm getting it up to date very soon here with that extra astrology aspect. So
I have a feeling that you and I may have brought a similar prescription this week because we were just in a meeting together the other day. So I'm going to let you start. What's your prescription for the Missing Witches Coven this week?
Well, I actually brought a different prescription besides the one that you're talking about. But I could also, of course, I was planning on talking about that one as well, but I have a separate one. So which one should go first, do you think? Anyone? Doesn't matter?
The one that's a surprise to me.
Oh, okay, cool. So I am always, stories of rebellion are what feed my soul. So I bring to you stories of rebellion. There's this, it's a TV show on Peacock, and it's called We Are Lady Parts. And it's a show.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you because I was muted, and so the listeners didn't get to hear my gasp of excitement. I loved We Are Lady Parts so very much. What a great prescription. Okay, carry on.
Yes, it's so fucking good. It's just the best. It's pretty short. There's just 12 episodes. They're 30 minutes each. And it's a show about a punk band, a Muslim woman punk band in London. And I mean, it's just so good. So much rebellion. Especially the end of the second season with the glass ceiling feeling song. Oh man, it's just so good. So if you like stories of rebellion, that's what I suggest.
Maybe we're just actually shit.
No, we're fucking great.
But we didn't pray this morning.
Or even yesterday.
Maybe we're a novelty act.
The token black and browns.
Please shut up, I've had enough of you putting us down.
I didn't even know the second season had come out yet. Oh, I know what I'm doing this week, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because the first season came out around the same time as like this like Netflix movie called Moxie, which was like about a little suburban white girl making a zine. And it was cute and it was great, but it was cute, you know? And We Are Lady Parts is like the real deal. It's beyond cute and into like astounding. Astounding. Oh, I'm so excited for the second season. Did it come out recently? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it came out recently. That's why I got into it. I didn't watch the first season, but they were pushing it really hard because the second season had just dropped. And I was like, yeah, okay, this looks interesting. And then as soon as I watched the first episode, I was like, oh, this is beyond interesting. I am into this.
Yeah, it will make you want to start a punk band. So let's put that into the prescription. If you can, start a punk band. And keep in mind that punk means no rules. You don't have to do Sex Pistols covers. You can bang on pots and pans and shout. You know, back in the day, Risa and I used to take folk songs and turn them into punk songs so that we could scream and yell, you know, little punkified John Denver and stuff like that. So this show is like it's really, really exciting and inspiring. What a great prescription. Thank you, Killian.
Yay. Yeah.
Now, on to what we talked about at our meeting. So, Killian, we had a meeting the other night, and Killian brought up this fact. And this was a discovery from 2009. So it's not like new news, but it was news to me. So maybe it's news to y'all who are listening. So I'm going to read something from an article that came from The Guardian. Again, this was back in 2009. Astronomers searching for the building blocks of life in a giant dust cloud at the heart of the Milky Way have concluded that it would taste of raspberries.
The universe tastes like raspberries.
There is like a spot in the Milky Way in the constellation of Sagittarius that is this gaseous cloud filled with ethyl folate. And ethyl folate is the molecule, the chemical that makes raspberries taste like raspberries. And y'all, I don't know why, but when Killian said that the universe tastes like raspberries, swear, and Killian was there, so they can like, you know, tell you that this is the truth. I burst into tears. I have no idea why I had such an over-the-top emotional reaction to our galaxy tasting of raspberries, but I did. And maybe it's because I had picked some wild raspberries from a bush that sprung up in my yard. Maybe it's because it feels like such a great unifier to know that we can taste the universe, that we can in our own way taste our galaxy just by eating raspberries. What?
Yeah, it's pure magic.
It's pure magic. Like, this is why we're witches, not because we don't believe in science, but because we believe science is so vastly exciting and can tell us things like the fucking galaxy that we live in tastes like raspberries. Like, if your mind isn't blown by that, what's gonna blow your mind? I really can't think of something more mind-blowing than that. And so my prescription this week is twofold. It starts with getting some raspberries, smelling them, tasting them, but also to recognize that like our molecules are their molecules. So the song that I want you to listen to while you're thinking about this and while you are tasting what the galaxy are, that what the Milky Way tastes like, is by Sun Ra and the Sun Ra Orchestra. Now, if you're not familiar with Sun Ra, this was a musician whose sort of narrative was that he and his band came from outer space. It's not orchestra, it's orchestra. So this idea that beings had, gotten together on this ship, to be preserved throughout the universe. It's wicked funk, jazz, and they have an album called Space is the Place. Space is the Place. And the title track is, of course, also called Space is the Place. And here's what I want you to know. Sun Ra sang, "Outer space is a pleasant place, a place where you can be free. There's no limit to the things you can do. There's no limit to the things you can be. Space is the place."
There's no limit to the things that you can do. There's no limit to the things that you can be. Your thoughts.
So again, like while we're tasting raspberries and recognizing like this is what our galaxy tastes like, what an amazing way to recognize that there's no limit to us, what we can do, what we can be. There's that whole we are stardust, we are part of the cosmos, and it's a lovely thing to think about. But now, or as of 2009 anyway, we have this amazing evidence that our taste buds and the fruits that grow on bushes in our yards are connected to the very molecules that make up our whole universe. There's no limit to the things you can do. There's no limit to the things you can be. Space is the place. And I think about this all the time, and y'all have heard me talk about this all the time, that sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by the idea that I am like the force of gravity is holding me to this rock that is hurtling through space in an expanding universe. It's a really overwhelming thought sometimes. And sometimes it feels scary, but sometimes it feels like I am limitless. There is no limit to what I can do. There's no limit to what I can be. And I can connect myself to the stars in the Milky Way and the space between atoms by eating raspberries, by tasting raspberries. What?
Such a beautiful, simple act to connect us all to the big picture, to the universe.
Yeah, and that's so much of what magic is, these simple or mundane. We believe that when we become witches, when we recognize that we are witches, we sort of relinquish the mundane. The mundane no longer exists when you're a witch, because even the act of eating a raspberry is like a profound connection to the stardust and universe that created us and surrounds us, right?
Right. Talk about re-enchanting the world, like for real.
For real. And can you think of anything, like you're an astrologer, can you think of anything like astrologically that would help us make this connection further?
Well, my first thought is, so this was found in the constellation of Sagittarius, right? And I am a Sagittarius rising. That's part of where my rebel soul comes from. So just bringing it back to also my previous prescription about we are lady parts, like rebellion and raspberries and the universe. It's all part of it. It's just all part of it.
The rebellious nature of the universe. Can you imagine if there be a creator and this creator decided to put the same molecules in the Milky Way as in, little red berries?
Right.
What a beautiful, beautiful notion and a beautiful, beautiful idea.
And it took forever in human history for us to find this, but it's been there the whole time. The whole time.
That too. Let's think about the rebellious nature within ourselves, right? And like how maybe you don't think you have it, but when you discover it, you recognize that it's been there the whole time and you just needed the right tools, a massive telescope in the case of the Milky Way, or maybe journaling, or maybe meditation, or maybe divination, whatever tools you use to reveal parts of you to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just getting shivers, y'all. I'm just getting shivers.
Yeah. It's so good.
So we're starting punk bands, even if it's a punk band of one with a kitchen pot and a wooden spoon as a drum and a drumstick. We are screaming our songs. We are absolutely rebelling against anything that tells us that we have limits to what we can
Yes.
do or what
Hell
we can
yes.
be. We're listening to Sun Ra, who again claimed to be from outer space, and use this motif to change the way that we look at music, the way that we listen to music. Super experimental. Again, like if we really broaden the notion of punk, then we can definitely put Sun Ra in there because there were no rules. And what else are we doing? We're eating raspberries and we're looking up at the sky. If you could combine these things, if you can conjure up your punk rock rebellious spirit while eating a raspberry, while staring up at the night sky and the stars and our galaxy, while listening to Sun Ra, while eating raspberries, while looking up into space, and conjure that rebellious spirit that was always already there, was always already there. And
Yeah.
whatever tools you need, be it music, be it fruits.
Right? Who knew fruit could be a tool of rebellion?
Thank you so much, Killian. Can you remind our listeners again where they can find you and check out your work?
Yes, so you can find me on my website at www.deathtintedglasses.com, or you can also find me on my Instagram at deathtintedglasses. And yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much, Killian. Thank you so much, Coven, for being with me another week. And again, we'll take 2 seconds to send a loving thought to Risa, who is getting some big test results today. May she be cloaked and protected in our love and our wonder at the universe. And blessed fucking be.
And blessed fucking be.
Thanks, Killian.
Thank you so much.
I love myself and all me. I love myself and all of me, all of me. I love myself and all of me. Love myself and all of me. I love myself and all of me.
The Missing Witches podcast follows the wheel of the year, with true histories of real witches in the autumn and meditations on kinship with the more than human world in the spring.
Stay with us in the off-season for the Missing Witches prescription, plus interviews and Sabbath specials all year round.
Join us as we change with the seasons, but always return to our roots.
And if you want to support the Missing Witches Project, join the coven. Find out all about it at missingwitches.com.